Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy or early morning. It depends on where you are. It's afternoon here. It's 12:09, just barely afternoon. Um, Anyways, happy New Year's Eve. I almost said Christmas Eve. Happy New Year's Eve. Um, I am making some cookies to take to a New Year's Eve party tonight. We always go over to my mother-in-law's for New Year's Eve, and so I am making some leftover candy cookies. I've made these before, and they were delicious, and I had kind of forgotten about them. But we have got some candy left over from Christmas, and then probably some also from Halloween. And we are getting ready to like get rid of the sugar around here. And so we need to kind of clear out a little bit. So I thought it would be a really good idea to make some cookies using this candy. I will eat the cookies with the candy so much more than I will eat just the candy. The candy could sit here for months and months and months, and I never touch it, but you put it in a cookie and I'm going to eat it. So I think it's a really good way to use leftover candy. So these cookies are lots of fun and everyone's going to love them. So happy New Year's Eve. When you come in, say hello. Let me know you're watching. Tell me what you got going on tonight. Anybody going to a party, or are you just going to go to bed early and just ring in the new year snoozing? Y'all, I can't believe it's 2026. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Danae. Hey, Dorothy. We were talking yesterday, I think it was, about when it was 1999. And remember the song Party Like It's 1999? Remember how everyone was freaking out in that year, thinking that in 2000, everything was going to go haywire and stuff. And here we are 26 years later. Doesn't that just seem crazy? It just seems insane. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. 12 p.m. I can't believe that it is 2026. It's just blowing my mind. It seems so futuristic and so far away, yet it's right here. Hi, baby. Good morning.
Morning.
Do you feel better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Good. All right. Well, mommy is live, okay? Mm-hmm. All right.
A little bit better.
Okay. Griffin just woke up. He didn't sleep well last night, so he slept in quite some time this morning. I went and woke him up at 10, and he told me that he didn't go to sleep until 3 o'clock last night, so I let him go back to sleep. We had a blast, Jamie. I'm planning to share a video with you. I'm dealing with some complications with it, but I'm hoping to have that video up tonight for y'all to see it. So we had a wonderful, wonderful time last night, and it was really, really good, really good. All right, let's see who we got. Hi, Jamie. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that, Teresa. That's wonderful. Hey, Suzanne. Hi, Allison. Happy New Year's. Hey, Pam. Bonfire at our house with the family tonight. Fun. Hi, Pam Wilkins. Happy New Year. Hey, Linda. Hi, Tammy. Teresa says she's just relaxing tonight. Hi, Dale. Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer's going out for early dinner and then staying in. Sounds good. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Jeslyn. Hi, Sandy. Happy early birthday, Jamie. All right, so let's get into it. Leftover candy cookies, all right? Specifically chocolate candy, okay? Leftover chocolate candy. Any kind of leftover chocolate candy you can put in these cookies, okay? It's all good. It is all good. Making barbecue meatballs. I'm making meatballs too. Hi, Catherine. Hey, Cindy. Hi, Sabrina. Hi, Barbara. Happy New Year. All right, so let's get into it, okay? This recipe is not my recipe, but you could use any chocolate chip cookie recipe, ultimately, and just sub the chocolate chips for the leftover candies. But we are going to start with melted butter. And this is something that I would never, ever, 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 ever do. But my things that I'm taking tonight to my mother-in-law's, I'm doing with whatever I have in my pantry and whatever I have in my refrigerator. And I didn't have any butter, but I had some margarine, so I'm using margarine. All right, so we are going to combine the melted butter and the sugars. This is melted margarine. I would definitely prefer butter. The recipe does call for salted. I never, ever, ever use salted butter. I don't know why, but I never do. I always use unsalted, and then I just salt it myself. But anyways, so that's what I'm doing. So the butter, then we're going to do 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And I forgot to get out the regular granulated sugar, but we also need 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. All right. And it's packed brown sugar. Okay. So there is 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Happy New Year. Hey, Estelle. Hi, Stacy. And then let me get the granulated sugar because I forgot to grab that. All right. And then we're going to do 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar as well. There's a half. And here's a 1/4. Okay. We're going to mix that together. Happy New Year. You're welcome, Carolyn. Thank you for being here. Stacy, we had a wonderful, wonderful time. Lots and lots of fun. Okay. So once that is combined, we're going to add in the eggs and the vanilla. And we've got 2 room temperature eggs. These are from Trisha's chickens. So they haven't ever been to the refrigerator yet. They're that fresh. All right, there's 1. Then there's 2. And then we need vanilla, and it's 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. I usually just measure with the heart. Measure from the heart on the vanilla. Okay, and we'll mix that together. Okay, and now we're going to add in the flour, the baking soda, and the baking powder and salt. Okay, so for the flour, we need 3 cups of flour. And yes, technically you're supposed to spoon it in, but this is fine. All right, so there's 1 cup. Cups and 3 cups. Kathy, it was very good. I have got it. The recipe scheduled. So it will be shared with you all this afternoon. Everyone really liked it. It was really good. And I will say, I said in the post, I think it could have used more caramel actually, which I told y'all I love caramel. And I think caramel is just incredible. I can eat it with a spoon. I love it that much. So we used a whole can of caramel. I think that it could have used, I could have done 2 cans, honestly, for me. That might be too much for others, but I could have done 2 cans. And just had the caramel layers thicker because I was wanting more caramel with it, but that's just me personally because I love caramel. I feel like the tiramisu needs caramel. I don't know why people don't ever do that because it's so much better in my opinion with caramel in it. Okay, anyways, all right, so 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, let's see here. Not seeing a teaspoon. For some reason, my measuring spoons, they disappear. All right, so there's 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Ooh, that sounds good, Stacy, although I don't like coconut, but that sounds really good. All right, so we're gonna do a teaspoon of baking powder. And then we need salt as well, and we're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I may do a little bit more since I'm not using salted butter. So I'm gonna go on and do 2 teaspoons of salt, or I mean a whole teaspoon of salt. That was a 1/2. Okay, so let's mix this together. Grab a spatula so that I can scrape down the sides. Okay. All right, before it's like completely mixed, okay, I'm gonna stop it and I'm gonna go on and do my candy. All right. Okay. All right, so I got my candy here. Let's get the candy ready. We need 2 cups of candy. Donna, we're making leftover candy cookies. So I just got all kinds of different candies here. I've got Milky Ways, I've got Butterfinger, all the chocolate. Andrew says those cookies are gonna be salty. No, they're not. A teaspoon of salt is about normal. And it's gonna go good with all of this candy. All right, so we got Hershey bars, we've got Reese cups, Butterfingers, Mr. Goodbar, all different types of candies. So I'm just gonna take them out of the package and then I'll chop them up into not super small pieces because you still wanna have, you know, a good bite of candy. But, you know, small enough. We got Kisses. I will say that the last time I made these, the ones that had a little bit of caramel in them, the caramel did get a little bit tough. So like I did Rolos, I think. I had Rolos the last time I made them, and it did get just a little bit tough, the caramel did. Hey, Debbie. Hi, Lisa. Twix. Yum. Kit Kats. The boys love Kit Kats. And you can also do M&Ms. I've got some M&Ms sitting over here. I don't know if I'm going to use the M&Ms or not. We're just going to wait and see. I'd rather not use the M&Ms, but we'll just see if I need them or not. So most of these I'm just kind of cutting down the middle and then coming back and cutting. So I have about like 1/4 inch pieces. He didn't like any recommendations for pots and pans you can. Recommendations for pots and pans you can put in the oven. Are you asking for, you said a recipe, so a receipt. Sorry, a receipt. Pots and pans you can put in the oven. I don't know. honestly, I still have the same pots and pans from when Andrew and I got married in 2011. All right, I think we're gonna need every bit of this candy. We may even need some of the M&Ms. I just bought a Cuisinart pan skillet that I haven't gotten a chance to use yet, but I have a Pampered Chef that's similar, and I love it. It's got the, I forget what you call it. There you go. This one here, it's got the, so it works like a stainless, but it's non-stick. So Hex Clad, I think is what they're called. I bet they're a lot better, Barbara. Although I will say my pots and pans have held up really well. They're the Paula Deen from Walmart that Walmart used to have years ago. And they have been really good pots and pans. And they have like copper on the bottom. That brand is really good too, Tammy. I have a pot that's that brand. So I haven't bought anything new, so I don't really have any suggestions on pots and pans because, like I said, I still have the same ones from almost, 15 years ago. Yeah. This one here has been squashed. It's a Kinder Mini Bueno. I'm just going to crumble it up. Okay. Let me cut up the rest of these. But you saw how much candy I was able to use for this. And so it's really good about using that leftover candy. And if you've got Halloween candy sitting around, if you get lots of candy for Christmas, this is perfect. Okay. That is pretty good. We are pretty much at 2 cups. So I think we're going to go with that. All right. So here we go. We're going to add this in to finish combining. Patty says Calphalon and or cast iron. Cast iron is great. I've got some Pampered Chef cast iron skillets that I use. And then I also have a Dutch oven that I really love. And my Dutch oven I got from Hobby Lobby. I mean, you can go to, TJ Maxx and Home Goods and places like that and get some really great ones. All right, I just scraped down the bowl. I'm going to dump all my candy in. And then we're just going to give this a mix until it's completely combined. I'm going to do it real quick and then shut it off. All right. And we've got our candies or our cookie dough ready. Yes, Tammy. I love Pampered Chef. Years ago, I had a Pampered Chef party that somehow became the most incredible party I have ever hosted. And I sold a ton. And I ended up getting a lot of product for free. Like, I ended up getting like $1,000 of product for free. I don't know how I did it. There's no way I'd ever be able to do it again. But it was really good. And I got so much free stuff. And I'm kicking myself for some of the things that I got. I wish that I had just gotten the full set of skillets instead of getting all, like I got some things. I got some things that I end up not using. I do use most of it, but some of it I just really, just really didn't use. But my skillet, I've loved my skillet, my 12-inch skillet from Pampered Chef, and it's guaranteed. So they will replace it if it stops working, and they have replaced mine already. All right, look at how amazing that looks. So we're gonna use a big cookie scoop, and we're gonna make big scoops of cookies. Okay, this, by the way, is Pampered Chef. It's amazing. When you buy these cookie scoops, make sure you buy good quality ones. Otherwise, when you go to use a thick dough like this, they break and they will not work. Now, this recipe does say to, let me move this over here. It does say to leave some candy left over and add some on top, but I figured, who cares? I'm just gonna add it all in there. This is leftover because Jerry, it's just candy that hasn't been eaten, surprisingly. But Griffin eats too much, and so we don't really let him eat a ton of candy because he eats way too much sugar. So we always have a bunch of candy sitting around. I think I've even got a bunch of candy bars in my freezer from like last year that probably need to be used. So I ought to one day when I make this, just make like a big batch of them and put them in the freezer for the next time. Now I'm actually going to chill this dough before I bake it off so that I have taller cookies. And that's just gonna, because I really like big, tall, gooey cookies. So I'm gonna chill these, and that way they don't spread as much in the oven. And we'll get taller cookies. So the recipe does suggest that. And it says, chill in the freezer for 15 to 30 minutes or in the fridge for 30 to 60 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to stick them in the freezer for 30 minutes and then I'll bake them off. And it says to bake for 11 to 13 minutes. It says to place 5 or 6 cookies on a cookie sheet, but that seems like very little. I don't see them spreading that much. I used all my parchment for my Christmas baking, so I only had one piece left. So I brought out my Silpat. Jerry, I haven't yet, but I will share it. I mean, I did tell you all as I was putting it together at the beginning of the live. But I will share the recipe with y'all. It is not my recipe. It is from bluebowlrecipes.com. bluebowlrecipes.com. All right, let's get the last bit out. I think I can get one more cookie. Okay, there we go. All right. So since I've got some room on this one, I'll just spread them out a little bit more if I can. and then we'll stick them in the freezer and let them firm up a bit. Okay. All right. So it makes, there is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So about 1.5 dozen. Yeah. That's correct, Lynn. Yes. And that is large cookies, right? So these are going to be pretty big cookies. Okay, so I'm going to put these in the freezer. I'm going to let them set up for about 30 minutes, and then I'll put them in a 365-degree oven and bake for 11 to 13 minutes. It says the edges will appear set and the cookies will be lightly golden. So the middles we don't want set because then that's going to be too crunchy of a cookie. And then we'll just let them cool and they'll be ready to go. All right, y'all? So thank you so much for joining me. I hope y'all have an amazing New Year's Eve. I love you guys so much, and I will see you all next year. All right. Bye, everybody.